Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the dogs, the attitudes, the Kiefer, the ginger. Oh my goodness gracious, what a beautiful Wednesday morning. Little breezy, a little humidor, but it's just about right. And as always, good morning to those that subscribe to my channel and watch me on a daily basis. Thanks for checking in and hoping you're having a blessed Wednesday midweek morning this morning as we get the day, as we trot across the driveway here with all the collection of all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and attitudes. And I forgot my barn opener. I don't even know where my barn opener is. It's just getting bad. Everybody's getting bad. And so I have to go to my truck over here that I just remotely unlocked and open my barn up and see what's going on in the barn here. So as always, it's always about the morning conversation, picking a word of the day and trying to figure out how we entertain you today through my YouTube channel to keep people coming back to hear more content and hopefully enjoy the conversation. And that's the goal here, as I get in my truck and spill my coffee and get in here, and the dogs, my car smells like blaster oil. Such a bummer, but such is life when you work out of your car and truck and motorcycle. And did she charge up? She did. Yeah, work out of your motorcycle, right? Yeah, work out of your car. It's nice to work off my motorcycles, but anyways, hey, it's still burning. So the goal is no burns. That's a lot of burning, man. Yeah, I know I'm crazy. You're gonna burn your garage down, Mr. Iceman, but it's so heavy in smoke. I think it's getting to me. And there's my barn opener right there. So yeah, that's encouraging. No, it's not. No, where's the other one? Who the heck knows? It's a mystery. Kid probably has it. Yeah, so here we are on the morning conversations, and found one of the squeaky balls. You're gonna lose it. Get it. So what are we gonna talk about today? When we had the conversation on Monday about taxes, and then we had conversation yesterday about the obligations, and what do we make today? Conversation. And where'd your ball go? So I've already lost the ball. Oh, it just doesn't end, you know. Probably rolled up underneath there or something. Poor boy, you just can't keep the balls, can you? Wow, it's heavy in here, and I even have the fans going here in the shop. Yeah, so what do we talk about on Wednesday? I thought we'll have the borrow conversations, which we haven't had that conversation. Borrow. I thought, yeah, well, that's a powerful word. Hey, here's the collection of Harleys. I got the ST out, the lowrider. Well, I got both STs out. Got the breakout rear tire fixed. So, Keefy boy, you just lose all your balls, don't you? Where'd it go? I don't know. Who knows? Well, it's just right over here. The ball was just right over here, bud. It's got to be close by, right? And probably underneath the car. Whatever. You have to find something else to play with, right, everybody? So yeah, so I thought the word would kind of follow the theme of tax, the tax man, and then obligations, and then the borrow. Because if you have obligations, you probably borrowed money. And isn't that a word that has broad meaning of so many things in our life of borrowing? So poor Keithy. Here's my Dunkin' Donuts idea. We got creative. I told people, hey, have a cup of Joe. And you get my Ice Age TV sticker. And what do you think of that idea? I thought that's pretty creative. For my paraphernalia, you want me to mail you one? Right. All you have to do is get a sticker and do the same thing I did. I'm looking way over here, Keithy, and I'm just not seeing your ball, bud. It's just such a disappointment because you like that ball. Anything outside here? Hissing the birds. Yeah, the birds are still, roosting. Yeah, see that? Right up there. There you are. See there? Yeah. You know how many times I've gone up and I've put these soffits back together? These guys, it's birds, man. And one of my subscribers say, why don't you just, do the aluminum siding all around the barn? No way. I like the wood look, but it's too much damn money. No way, man. And at the end of the day, I think the birds are it's a barn. What do you expect? Won't last forever. I mean, they're going to have their time of year, but then they move on. So They don't stay in the barn forever. That's the good news. And so, yeah, so you look at me, you know, what do I do besides borrow money? I mean, for me, yeah, well, I call myself stupid. I do. You know why? Even for me, I just think to myself, you know, if I ever had any brains, I'd buy a car, pay it off, and then just buy another car. And then I'd buy another car. And I'd buy another, you know, I would just do that instead of having a collection of all these cars or borrowing the money and the monthly obligations in so many ways would enable me just to have cash just to go buy a car. Yeah, but am I that smart? I'm not. You know, so it just doesn't end with Iceman. And that's why I have a YouTube channel. It's right they hear. I can't emphasize enough that Joe worked for me for 12 years. He preached to me for 10 years to start a YouTube channel because of what I do. Because when he came to work for me, he witnessed my antics. You know, he already knew me prior to that, but then he worked for me and he saw how he'd go and take a little vacation break, and when he came back, and have a different car, and so, or a different motorcycle, or a different tractor. So he's like, man, you need to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, yeah, but I just, is that really going to draw people? And sincerely, that's what drew me to the YouTube channel. But my friend was like, but you get all these different cars and you can share your time and experience with each car and share that with others, which I do. But I don't have the views of those that take the 35-minute, hour intense conversation of these cars that they get. They don't buy them, which I give these guys credit. I give other YouTubers credit for being able to go borrow the brand new Hyundai Iconic 5N. My friend Mr. George, or Mr. P, and my subscriber base, who has lots of cars, or say lots of motorcycles, and he's a speed demon guy. He sent me a 35-minute video of this one known YouTuber that, you know, guy does extremely well. And he does a complete review of the car, even takes it to a racetrack and races it around. And the guy's getting, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of views and hits, and has subscribers because he takes the time to talk about every fine detail of that vehicle. But he borrows, here's the word, he borrows a car from the manufacturer or from a car dealership. He's so well known, I guess he gets the privilege of a manufacturer or a car dealer will let him borrow the latest, greatest vehicle, and then he gets the credentials for sharing that like a Motor Trend or Road and Track journalist. And he's created his own mini Motor Trend, Car and Driver, Auto Week, Motor Trend, whatever it may be, type of basic business in so many ways. And I give the guy credit. For me, that just has never kind of played out because I just have such a collection of so many different vehicles. So, but you would think being a YouTuber like me, I would have a much bigger base because I've got the Ford followers, and then I'd have the Chevy follower. Then I have the Mopar followers. Then I have the Harley followers. Then I had the Indian followers. Then I have the Honda followers. Then I had the Triumph followers. So you would just think to yourself that on my channel, the amount of people that would borrow my information, yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're borrowing my time. You're coming to me and saying, hey, I want to try to figure out what makes sense or doesn't make sense. But yet, yeah, right. So he's over here. I can't hear a dang thing you're saying, kid. There's no way I can hear you that far away. What do you need?
How do you heat up those breakfast circle egg things?
The instructions are on top of the microwave. My life, right? Yeah, so the big YouTubers out there, they get to borrow other people's vehicles, motorcycles. I mean, think it through. You know, Motor Trend, Road and Track, they've always have borrowed the manufacturer's, you know, products and have been able to make money off of borrowing. They don't actually own them; they just borrow them. I know the guy Johnny Lieberman or whatever it is, like on I think Motor Trend magazine. I remember being the Dodge Hellcat for him for years, and that guy was given a Dodge Charger Hellcat, and then he got to drive it for like a year, so he didn't own it, he just borrowed it. Yeah, I mean, that's the typical thing that happens with these big, Cycle World, Rider Magazine, motorcyclists, all. Okay, just you leave it in the plastic, you leave it in the bag, and just heat it for a minute to a minute 30. Yeah, come on, Kiwi. Bring your ball. Ball. So, yeah, they've had incredible success. So now, going back to the reality, most of us in life, yeah, I'm sure some people watching the channel right now, like, can I borrow some of your vehicles? Yeah, I have people say that to me all the time. I say, sure, if you make the monthly payment. And then it's like, oh, I'm not excited about that idea. Yeah, right. So, no. But here's the running joke in my life, if you really watch my channel. For some reason, Ally Financial, and I guess now Nissan Credit, they think I do let people borrow my vehicles. Yeah, if you really watch my channel, I'm still labeled in Ally Financial as a Turo guy. And, I've looked at that, probably have any brains, and probably let people do, you know what? I guess my position is, when it comes to the point they can't afford these cars, you just got to let them go. And, yeah, I guess some people do make good money off of that. I just got mixed feelings about that, because the challenge with me is, when I'm going to let somebody drive my Z06 Corvette, am I going to let somebody drive my Camaro Z28? I mean, these are kind of cars that are kind of rare. So to have it, the Dodge, I just can't. Do you really make money off of that per se? Debatable. I know that. So I just ride my Ram TRX. I mean, my vision is somebody just takes it and rags the hell out of it. And I know you get insurance and blah, but the whole point is, the Ally Financial and now even Nissan Credit, they think that I'm a guy that lets people borrow my stuff and drive it, which is so bad. Because everybody watching my channel knows you guys see cars sit here forever. I mean, some people, kind of make fun of that and are critical in some ways. But yeah, man, you got these cars. I know, I get it, right? I don't disagree. It's but you ever heard you're borrowing time? Your time is borrowed. So, oh, here it is. Duh. There it is, right there. So I closed the barn down for some reason, then I did something, and that's how that played out, right? So, but here's another thing about, the borrowing. What's going on in the industry is borrowing money is extremely challenging for people because the interest rates have gotten so high, and that's Elon Musk's conversation. He's been talking about it for the last, year, 2 years, is how it's getting so expensive to buy cars. That's his theory, that why his sales aren't as good as they used to be. And I'm sure a lot of car dealerships and all these other people would, there he goes. See, up there to the front of the barn, there's another one. They're all trying to move in. Even the smoker isn't scaring them away. Isn't that something? But it seems my daughter thinks that the pigeons are going to move in May. That's her theory. She's like, yeah, the pigeons aren't, you haven't chased the pigeons away. They just haven't shown up yet. I'm like, okay. So here's Keith. Kiefer loves to chase the ball. It's all about the ball. It's all about the ball. My daughter says, if I just quit playing with him, he'd stop doing it. I'm like, what fun is that? I mean, sincerely, why don't Kiefer wants to play? The dog wants to play. I mean, you're going to pay, either get a dog or get rid of the dog, right? Yeah, we had that conversation before. Yeah, I've had those conversations. So you guys, the dog on borrowed time? Yeah, Keefy? No, we're not getting rid of Keefy. As we hope he develops into a bigger and better dog, and he knows what I'm talking about him. He's looking at the camera. Yeah, he's getting to be better. Hangs out with Daddy. I'll get you right. Yeah, or you get me right. So then you think to yourself about the borrowing and what's like the biggest challenge of life for the average person? I'd have to say it's being able to borrow money to buy a house. In fact, that's a fact. The number one debt for the average citizen is the house. That's your biggest thing to borrow. Now, who doesn't know the relationships with your friends, family, neighbors, someone has to borrow something? Yeah. Who doesn't know these stories where your friend borrows your car, or your neighbor wants to borrow a tool. Come on. Does everybody have a story? I have tons of stories of, oh, go borrow something, and then does it ever come back the way it's supposed to be? I'd say the odds are against you. It's just like the running saying to you, and people know this, when somebody asks to borrow money from you, the odds are you'll never see that money. You just might as well, you really have to be on the page. Somebody calls you and asks for money. You really have to be at the point that you gave them money. They didn't borrow it, you gave it to them. And if you don't have that position, you're a fool. Because when somebody has to borrow money, that means they're in dire straits and they've got challenges financially. And, financial responsibility, fiscal responsibility is a word, which we'll talk about that in our country in a second. But so I'm getting coughed up with this freaking smoke. I can tell you, who's going to go first? Who's going to move out first? Me or the birds? Good Lord, man. I'm right next to that smoker, too. Yeah, it's not good, right? Yeah, how much longer can I do this? Yeah, I hear you. So, so when somebody has to borrow money from you, you might as well just, in so many ways, write it off. How many stories have you heard of family relationships where somebody borrows money and never pays it back? It's huge. But same token, if you watch the YouTube chasers, so I have a new name for the YouTubers out there. I'm sure some people will watch my channel and hear me kind of mouth off and some of these other YouTubers. It's because this is very challenging. For me as an individual, I start to scratch my head for all the hours and time I put into this YouTube channel for the minuscule return that I get. Is it really worth it? I'm sincere with everybody watching my channel. It is so much work to bring content and share what I do for the minimal return of just minuscule. But then I see these other YouTubers that are YouTube chasers. And the YouTube chasers, where I got that name, is from the ambulance chasers. And if you're an individual who understands that, the ambulance chasers are the attorneys that look for the car crashes to want to go get the lawsuits, and they try to represent you to file lawsuits against those that were involved in the accident and get their payouts. So they're called ambulance chasers. They're looking for the car crashes and the wrecks. I think the YouTube chasers are the individuals out there that chase the latest breaking news that the world's coming to an end. Yes, the YouTubers, I talk about this every day. The YouTuber guys who get the huge hits on their channels are the guys that will claim that CarMax is going to go bankrupt. And they'll have this whole, thumbnail of the guy's face pointing to a CarMax sign and saying it's over for CarMax, they're going to go bankrupt. And that type of thumbnail and conversation will draw in 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers or hits. And some should say, well, why don't you do that? I don't know. Sincerely. And then the next guy, John Williams, he just posted on his video that all the schools are going to start closing, and then it's going to be all remote working. That the public school systems are going to start closing, and kids will be forced just to be remote learning. Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that story? That all these public schools, but people will click on that guy's channel to hear the dire straits. And it's the underlying message, a constant rhetoric that these YouTuber guys, the YouTube chasers get, is it's the worst case scenario that will play out, and then people are intrigued to watch that. I just really don't, that isn't who I am. But there's a challenge for me as a YouTuber is I bring content that doesn't scare you, I guess, that would intrigue you to want to watch a channel because you want that, the fear factor. Remember Joe Rogan? He got famous from the fear factor. If you know his name, I'm sure, and I'm not a follower of that guy. I don't even watch him. That guy disappeared in my life after the Fear Factor show, which I couldn't even watch some of those series. It was just so disgusting to watch what they did. But that's how he made his well-known name and his fortune to be today, because he instilled the fear of people. And that's huge. So for people that borrow money, wouldn't you say that there's a fear factor in there? I would think so. How many car salesmen could call me today and say a person at the last minute canceled the deal? Because why? Well, they became fearful that they couldn't really fulfill the obligation of having a car payment every month at that amount of money. It happens all the time. I've witnessed this throughout my years of life. I've been a salesperson in my life, most of my life, all my life, and I've witnessed a person that can't make a change. At the last second, they're like, no, we don't want to change, because they're fearful of the change. And that's a huge challenge in life for people, is change. And so when it comes to borrowing money, everybody here knows when you go to sign that piece of paper, you now have an obligation and a responsibility to make that all work. And then you start second guessing yourself. Just like this camper RV I just bought. So yesterday, they call me. And sometimes you just have to scratch your head. So they called me and said, hey, just so you know, the amount of money you're putting down isn't going to work, because we didn't factor the deal of like $2,500 more of stuff has to be done for that RV. The meaning, and this is where it kind of gets a little, even those who watch my channel, I'll be intrigued to hear what they say, and I hope they listen to my video to be able to express their views. So I'm like, okay, so you guys want another $2,500 down. I'm like, this is getting expensive. And so what they want is on that bumper pole trailer. So this right here is out for sale. I'm very surprised that I haven't had a lot of hits on this trailer that would cost you $28,000 to $30,000 brand new, that I'm selling for like, right now I got it. I listed at $18,500, but I said, you know what? I think the $17,500 is kind of probably more in that range. But I'm not getting that many hits, which I'm kind of surprised. What is that all about? The money factor, the tax time? Probably. But here's the point. This is a 12K trailer. That camper is a 9,500 pound trailer with no motorcycles in it, no gear. So that's going to be a 12,000 pound trailer at the end of the day. I have pulled this trailer with my dually for years. I even pulled this trailer with my F-150 Power Boost. I was bragging about how I drove that F-150 Power Boost, and this thing got up the road. I mean, definitely could feel it back there, but I did it. And I don't have any sway bar controls or anything. So at Beckley's RV, they highly recommend that you buy the sway bar kit, which is for them to install it, set it all up, and then the condors. I want to have condors in the trailer, blah, 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 blah. It's going to cost me over $2,000 to do all that. So they basically want like $1,800 for the sway bar, the sway control setup for that trailer. So I thought, I don't understand this. This is a bumper pole trailer, and I've done a bumper pole trailer. Why do I need sway bars for this big F450 truck? This F450 truck, as the birds built a nest back here. That'd be funny if they did. For the Ford F450 truck, look at this freaking how big this back receiver is. Look how beefy this suspension is. So what am I going to gain? I don't understand why I need that. So my sales lady, great lady, she called me back, and we started talking more in depth. Listen to that car. Can you hear that thing off the road? So I said, you know what? And I called my good buddy, said, Trailer Enterprises, who I buy all my trailers from up there in Hagerstown, Maryland. And I said, how much do you want for this trailer sway kit? And they took a little while to figure it all out. And so he gave me a quote and everything, and basically half of what Beckley's wants. But he's like, why are you doing that? He's like, what truck do you have? I got an F450. He's like, why are you putting a sway control kit on an F450 truck? I'm like, I don't know. Why am I doing that? He's like, I don't know why you do that. That's for if you have an F-150 truck. So I said, you know what the smartest thing to do is, let me just buy the camper trailer and freaking drive it up the road and see how it handles before I do anything. And if the back of if that trailer is walking, then okay, let me spend the money. So the point of that conversation is, being I'm borrowing money to buy that trailer, yesterday is kind of the point like, you know what? This may be just starting to get a little too expensive. I don't know. Is it really worth it? And then my concern is, but it's not a big ticket item. I mean, we're really talking $50,000. And that's what I really came to closure on. Is I've been wanting an RV for many, many years, but it's always the big money factor, and then you probably won't use it much. And I'm like, and that's why I'm like, you know what? It isn't a huge amount of money, and if I can sell this trailer here and put the RV camper here, what's really funny about all this if I pull us all off, which I think I will, but it's next week when I have to bring all the money to the table, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, another freaking, fat check to get something done, which is, yeah, borrow money, borrow money, borrow money. So, but what's funny about it here is my friend Tim, who lives up there in Jersey, my house isn't going to accommodate guests. Believe it or not, my wife has turned a bedroom in the house to be her office. And then we do have a loft area for somebody to stay, but it's not very private. And then you have my daughter's bedroom, used to be my master bedroom. Then I have my bedroom, our bedroom in the back of the house. It's just by caught on fire. Somebody came to visit me. It'd be very challenging. I'm not talking like my dad or my wife's mother or somebody in the family. They're going to have accommodations. But like for my friend, he isn't going to be comfortable living upstairs in a loft open area and sharing a bathroom with my wife or my daughter, if you get what I mean by that. So if I got that camper, it's pretty cool is, hey, Tim, you're watching my channel. You would have actually accommodations to hang out here with me. And because he's so cool, he's like, I'll just get a hotel up the street. But I'm like, yeah, but then you got to head out of here and we can't hang out and do our thing and whatever. So now I got accommodations for to actually hang out here. My daughter and I already talked about how we're going to probably sleep out here in the camper. It's all about the adventure, right? But it's all about borrowing money. And for me, I'm sincere here. I told the wife, I said, look, if I get this camper, I'm going to sell the other trailer. And I want to try to sell 1 or 2 motorcycles. So late yesterday, those watching my channel, I see the comments. I'm trying to sell my 2021 Harley-Davidson CVO with a minuscule 1,200 miles on it, and I want to get 35 grand out of it. You know why? Because I owe 35 grand on it. So anybody who watches my channel, I borrowed money to buy that motorcycle, and sure enough, between burying this stupid ass stuff for the finance guy to make his money, there's probably 3-4 grand of add-ons at the back end, which I can get prorated on the bike once I sell it. But yeah, I need 35 grand for a bike. And some guys are like, you're gonna be lucky to get 22 grand. Nah, I mean, wholesale would probably be 24, 25. 22 would be very low for that. If you're trying to trade it for something, which, yeah, let's go down that rabbit hole, right? Others are saying maybe 28. So, I don't disagree, but at the same time, it comes down to this. If you're gonna buy a brand new Road Glide, if you get the new Road Glide and you want to get the black package, blah, 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 at the end of the day, I think you're really going to be close to 30 grand. If you figure in the tax and everything else. So I'm sure some of you are like, well, then why would a guy want your CVO? Well, I can tell you one reason why, because if you're into the older technology, which I think is really cool, and you still like the retro look of the Harleys, you're better off buying my CVO than versus you buy a brand new CVO. You know that story. That's $40,000+. So yeah, I think no doubt it'll be a challenge, and I would say the odds are it won't sell for that type of money, which that's fine. Then it just isn't going to sell, and I'll continue to keep it, and then one day it turns into taking that bike to trade it for something else. That's just how it plays out in my life. But anyways, so those that watch my channel, yeah, I don't disagree. 35 grand will be challenging, but at the same time, once again, the Fast Johnny, these Fast Johnnies, which is just a CVO in disguise in so many ways, they're not really around much anymore, but you're going to be like 31, 32 to get one of those. And then the sales tax, and if the dealer wants to do this and that, you're going to be at 35 grand. So the only thing that'll hurt it is you like all that new infotainment center, and you want, the only way that bike will be challenged is if the people say, well, I just go buy a 2024. Yeah, but yeah, I get all that. But do you really know the bike yet? And blah, blah, whatever. So it's always adventures. The point of the conversation there is, I told my wife, for me to kind of come to closure and borrowing more money, if I can get rid of some debt, then I feel good about that. And that's why I just said, is, for me, getting the dealer calling me and like, hey, you guys put more money down. Then all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh, is it really worth it, right? And so, and then another thing is, I can always trade that trailer in to Beckley's, and they give me a chunk of money, but I'm not excited about that because I already know what's going to happen. They're going to tell me 10 grand. They're going to say, I'll give you 10 or 12 grand for it. And then they're going to put it on the lot for, 14, 15, whatever it may be. They just say, do I go that route? I could, but for me, I really feel like that somebody's going to come to the table at some point and buy that trailer. I just think people are sitting on the sidelines and to see how low I go. That's kind of how it plays out. Because people look at stuff and they're like, yeah, let's just see how long it sits out there, and let's just see if he starts lowering the price. So as you know, if you're watching my channel, I fixed the tire, and it's still full this morning. And I really like that tire kit. Oh, that's so cool, isn't it? And there it is. What's the odds of me moving this motorcycle around and you get to see that little plug? I like that plug. I think it'd be fine as I crash and burn on it, right? So yeah. So and those that watch my channel, and I talk about this all the time. People are like, hey, somebody will get all revved up. Hey, there's the Pro Station charger that if I want the electric company to come in and here's Keefy. And if they come in and put all new electric in, they're going to hire my friend to come in and put the panels in. And I'm sure at the end of the day, it'll be a $1,500, $2,000 expense out of my pocket. I would imagine, just to get a faster charge. Is it really worth it? I don't know. I could probably sell this thing for $1,000 on my own. There you go, right? Just sell that on a marketplace. Because this thing's like $1,500, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea, right? Possible. I don't know. I just thought of that. Not a bad idea. So anyways, if you watch my channel, it's all about borrowing. And that's my challenge in life, is I borrow money to buy everything. Which isn't the smartest, it's not the smartest way to do things. Anybody that's watched my channel that thinks that I'm some financial guru, no, not at all. I mean, no way. I'm a guy that has leveraged and risked everything just to appease my addiction to all these cars and trucks and motorcycles, which is extremely challenging and dangerous, because all it takes is a few of these vehicles to be taken back, my borrowers that I don't take care of anymore, then it's over. I mean, that's a fine line. And what's really, for me, very disappointing, you hear me talk about my channel a lot, and what you're hearing from me is, it's now 4 years later, and I'm blown away. I am blown away. I'm at 12,000, I'm close to 12,000 subscribers. And the amount of money I make a day is $15 a day. I'm about a $15 to $20 a day YouTuber earner. So for 2,500 plus videos, and for all the time I've spent in this channel, and to be that 4 years later, I truly would have told you 4 years ago that I would probably be making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month on this YouTube gig from what I do and how I try to build content and build subscribers. And I'm just really taken back that it's nothing close to what I thought it'd be. And that's why you hear me say every now and then that, is it just time to move on? And I just show video here and there. I buy cars and trucks, but to continue to do this morning conversation and everything, and the amount of work I put into this, I don't know. I mean, you don't think I'm scratching my head on that. And that's what I say to myself. I'm like, what have I done? And I hear people reach out, your videos are too long, you need to do thumbnails, you need to do that. And I'm just like, yeah, but there's more to it. And do these other subscribers, are they paying people to grow their and I hear these stories that some YouTubers pay people to grow their channel. They create fake accounts that, that make it look like people are watching the content, they're bots, the views. I hear these conversations. It just stuns me when somebody makes an announcement as a YouTuber of what's in the general media news, and they get all these hits and subscribers. That's the same content. It's just the same content. Somebody do me a favor and share a video like mine, like this morning conversation. Somebody share a video of the YouTubers or general media of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm sincere. I'm not here trying to be rude or demeaning. I just would like to know that and so here's the thing. Then I could take it too that, well, that's why other people aren't doing what you do, because it just doesn't create it doesn't create your challenge, Mr. Iceman, because you just don't have what others have. And I can take that as an individual. Yeah, I get it. And so that's what I say. Maybe it's just, I'll pop up every now and then when you see me buying another car or having a car repossessed or buying another motorcycle or just about dying on a motorcycle, or the how-to videos. Maybe that's just more the angle, and just kind of let this morning thing, kind of just just do it morning conversation every now and then. I don't know. I enjoy doing the morning conversation with everybody here watching my channel. I really do. But why is my channel? It's totally like the subscriber base is just like gone to zero. I just pick up a subscriber now, just like maybe once a day. I used to get like 10, 20 subscribers a day. So what's going on? I don't know. And once again, who knows? With me, I'm up, I'm down, I'm all over the place. I'm a fish, I'm a Pisces. So now let's talk about the reality of times as we get upstairs here. My arm's getting tired. You realize it or not, I'll show you in the video, or in the mirror here. See, I hold this camera like this right here. So I hold this camera with my arm like this. My right arm and shoulder are destroyed. I'm not lying to you. So in some aspects, doing this YouTube channel, it's destroying my right arm. And, so yeah, get a stick or something. I don't know. So yes, I'm just sharing with you that the consequences of trying to entertain people. And I don't have, the YouTube channel doesn't pay any money. Hey puppies. YouTube channel doesn't pay any money for me to be hiring somebody to start following me around every time I make a video. So challenges. And would have I been better off in Instagram? X. I don't like X. It's just nasty ass people. I don't like X. It's the nastiest ass people. They get on there and they make content. Their whole love of life is crapping on you. That's what they love. That isn't who I am, and I won't ever be like that. But people get off all this content of every day of their life. They get out of bed, and they hate this person, and they hate that person. And people just love to watch that stuff. It's just wild. So anyways, what I was going to do, as my voice deteriorates, between talking, this, that, so. I was going to share with you the borrow on our country, but does it really matter? Sincerely, as a YouTuber, aren't you just a point in this country? Who cares? Who cares? Because it's obvious the government, in so many ways, it makes you feel like they don't care. Because when it comes to the fiscal responsibility, this country just passed $34 trillion in debt. But then you have a person say, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Our country's borrowing habits are out of proportion, and they have been for years. But for you as a YouTuber, watcher, you as an individual in this country, don't you just kind of start to feel like that the government in this country, they just feel like, who cares? We don't care. We don't care if you don't like how we spend our money. Just shut up. And in fact, we'll just send somebody to come visit you if you don't shut up. That seems to be going on more than ever in today's social media. That if you say the wrong things, the FBI is going to show up and tell you what they think. So here it is. Here's fiscal responsibility, $34 trillion of the U.S. Debt. But what does that really mean? Does that really mean that this country's going to go broke? Sincerely. But then what's so interesting is, so why so much debt? One of the main culprits is consistently overspending. Really? Wow. Sounds like consumers. So how much does, this sort of gets complicated. How much does the U.S. owe China? $859 billion in debt. But it does not own most of the debt of any, however, it does not own the most U.S. debt of any foreign country. Who owns the U.S. debt? Japan, $1.1 trillion. Then you have China, United Kingdom, Belgium, Switzerland, Cayman Islands, and smaller amounts for the rest of the world. Then you go to, it would take about 20 years of corrective action for our country to get itself on a balanced budget. Let's see, who is the country that has no debt? Singapore. Singapore is one of Asia's major financial centers. It is also one of the most prosperous countries on the planet. So that's pretty encouraging. Then, this is where it's kind of befuddling. Do any countries owe the U.S. money? China owes the United States 1.3 trillion. Really? Did you ever know that? Which is the most debt of all the countries that are its debtors. Japan was the primary debt holder until 2008, but now comes in second place with 1.2 trillion. So now, I read a very interesting article this morning as we kind of come to an end of the morning conversations. In China, which so many people are concerned that we're going to the China life at some point. In China, if you have debt, the government controls you and what you can do. So there's an article like this young woman that came from nothing to become something, and she ended up over borrowing over time, and they control how she can't ride on the nice trains or fly in airplanes, and she can't do some things. So when she tries to buy a ticket to be on a nice fast train, she can't. She wants to go take an airplane ride, she can't, because in China she owes 40,000 US dollars. She makes $400 a month, so she's a debt to the she's a burden to the country. So in China, if you're an individual and has a lot of debt, you can't do much. They start to control you. Could you imagine me over there? And in China, they do not allow people to file bankruptcy. So once you get the debt, it's forever. Versus here, if you get yourself in dire straits, you can take the exit plan. No, come on, Kiefer just doesn't end. He's still playing with the ball. I was saying earlier. So you just stay that right there. Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up with that on the weekly conversations. And as always, I appreciate everybody out there supporting my channel. And yeah, is it challenging? It is. But here's the thing about life. Do you think I became successful because it was easy? And I know that. I mean, I know that big time. But you know what? Years ago, I got into I got into wireless car wash, dry wash and guard. And that was it's the multi-marketing Amway, Mary Kay. You sign up distributors, you sell products and goods, blah blah blah. And some people in those fields have been blessed, and they just know how to talk and how to gather the people and get the right team. And it's a lot of work, but there's one, believe it or not, where I live, there's one of the key Amway successful guys from back like in the late 70s and 80s. So right up the street here from me, there's a very famous Amway guy that lived right up the street from me here that became worth millions from being one of the top Amway distributors. So, and that's how life is. And I got into network marketing with a vision of I had 700 distributors. But that's not a lot when you get into network marketing. You need thousands and thousands. Just like YouTube channel, you're going to have 25, 50,000, 100,000 subscribers to really start to probably make some money in this business. It's a business, in all sincerity. I have Ice Age is actually a business. I have an S corporation with its name. And that's how I get paid. I get paid through Ice Age monies. Because you have to go through a little bit of a process to get set up with YouTube to make money. It's a lot of work. And the downside is, so you have 1,000 subscribers, so you have 4,000 continuous video hours, you don't qualify for any money. YouTube keeps all the money for themselves. So in some ways, you can be very critical of YouTube and say they're greedy and they just make too much money off of you and they don't want to share the money. That's why people go to other social media platforms. And I get all that. But the whole point is, so back in 1992, I quit a very lucrative oil job, selling oil, and hey, stop it. And so I just hit the other dog in the head. Oh, poor Willow. So anyways, and that's a very good job. I was starting to make close to a six-figure income to go sell a wireless car wash. And it was a huge mistake. In the end, it was I busted my ass, worked 7 days a week. And for the most part, close to 2 years later, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I can go pursue something else in my life, and I guarantee you, I would make so much more money. Because I just looked around as I walked in and out at so many doors. I mean, I walked into so many doors that I just felt like, wow. It's just incredible. So anyways, the point of that conversation is sometimes you sit back and think, wow, for all the time and energy put into one thing, get focused, shouldn't you maybe go a different direction? And sometimes I think, yeah, I don't know. Something to think about. So anyways, that's it. Leave it at that. As always, appreciate the support. Phone's ringing. Too much going on. Dogs going crazy. And I got to go. And this is a long-ass video. It's too long. I get it. I'm going to shut up. So God bless. Have a great day. And stay tuned for more adventures.